Hit. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going over one of my latest acquisitions, which is this Remington 1187 police trade-in short barrel shotgun. But before I go any further in the video, let me show that the chamber is empty along with the magazine. You can see the follower. So now that we got that out of the way for the YouTube police, let's go ahead and carry on with the rest of the video. So Remington 1187 is a semi-automatic shotgun. Anybody who has seen my previous video on my Mossberg Shockwave short barrel shotgun, or if you're new to the channel, I'm not really that big of a shotgun guy. I grew up watching RoboCop and 80s action movies with my dad. So shotguns in the beginning and were really the beginning of my interest in guns. First shotgun I ever owned was a Maverick 88 pistol grip, 18.5-inch barrel. And I've owned probably more shotguns than any other gun type that I've had. Various models from, like I mentioned, that Maverick 88 to a couple different Mossberg 590A1s to Mossberg 930s, Sega 12s, Beretta A300, the Norinco Hawk 87, I believe it was called. Just several different variations, the Civet 12, and I just don't enjoy shooting them much. And I always end up getting rid of them. And not being the biggest shotgun guy, I do believe, though, that any self-respecting gun owner should have at least one pump action. Definitely one pump action, and also a semi-auto. So I do know, based on my YouTube metrics, that there has been quite a few people that have seen my Beretta A300 video. I no longer own that gun. Was a decent enough gun. I ultimately ended up getting rid of it because I felt like it was the V6 version of the Beretta 1301, which is the GT version. For the money that I paid for that thing, I freed up those funds to go purchase something else, but I did always want another semi-auto. Thought about getting a 1301. Not really currently interested in spending that type of money on one. Came across this one on ARFCOM's EE. This, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, this was a police trade-in model with a 14-inch barrel. I am definitely a fan of short barrel shotguns. I think that they're super cool. And I looked at this one. I saw the ad for it. I think the guy was originally asking $750 for it. I subscribed to it, and I kept watching it, thought about pulling the trigger on it. Did a little bit of reviews on 1187s. You know, they are definitely not the latest and greatest technology. They're also not known to be the most reliable with a wide array of ammunition, mainly talking about, like, you know, weaker target loads and whatnot. They do have a long history with Remington. A lot of good reviews. You know, some people also have issues with them, just like with any, I think, semi-auto shotgun. But I was watching the ad one day, and eventually a guy dropped the price down to $575, and then I was all over it. And that was going to be $575 shipped. So it was a police trade-in. Probably when he got it, the finish was a bit jacked up, scratched, marred, or whatever from being thrown around in patrol cars. Not sure if he did it himself, but had a Cerakote job done on it in this, like, metallic gray, gunmetal gray, I think what it was. Has the Scattergun Technologies ghost ring sights, as you see, and also had the Mesa Tactical 6-shell shot holder. Now, not really the biggest fan of shot shell holders. I definitely prefer having the tearaway shot cards, but it was already on it, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave it on there. But so for $575, I figured, what the heck. Being that this is a factory short barrel shotgun, and the guy I bought it from does have an SOT. So the transferring, processing the Form 3 to have it shipped to me local. I think the gun was coming from North Carolina for $575. I couldn't turn it down, so I went ahead and decided to pull the trigger on it. Came with the black furniture, but did also come with this wood furniture. I don't know if this is walnut or fake walnut or what, but for that price, I couldn't turn it down. Really good shape overall. You know, you see a little bit of marks right here on the trigger guard. Nothing crazy. Nothing that's not going to end up on a tool like a shotgun anyway. So really happy with the condition once I got it. The Form 3 to ship it from SOT to SOT took about 2 or 3 days for approval. Guy got it shipped out super quick, and it arrived at my local FFL, and we went ahead and submitted the E-Form 4. This gun actually is what drove me to go get my EFT file, or my electronic fingerprints file. Hadn't gotten one before, meant to go do it, and always kind of put it off because I said I'm good with stamps, or if I was buying cans, I would go through Silencer Shop's website, which they already have my fingerprints from the kiosk, from cans that I've bought from them. But went and got my EFT file, went ahead and filed my Form 4, and was really hoping for the best. We're in August or September of 2024. Pretty much all year long, we've been seeing faster and faster approval times when it comes to Form 4s, and I figured I'd go ahead and take a shot. Submitted the Form 4, got approved in 3 calendar days, so I was definitely super stoked about that. Now, when I got the gun, it did not have the extension. This is a Wilson Combat +1. From the factory configuration, it holds 4 shells. Besides the fact that I wanted it to hold as many shells as I could without extending past the end of the barrel, Wilson Combat seemed to be the way to go. When you get the one from Wilson Combat, I want to say this is about $55. You can get the one that has the sling swivel, I guess if you want to call it here. It also comes with an extended spring and a high visibility follower, as you can see there. So worked out very well. When I bought it, I was expecting there to be the magazine tube nipples in there. I went ahead and bought one of the excess sight switch tools that you pound in there and knock the nipples out of it. And what makes the police model different is they don't have those nipples. So I spent that $35 for nothing. What it does also have compared to the commercial models is you do have the ratcheting ball detent that's built into the forearm. As you can hear it clicking as I loosen it up and tighten it back down. You can see here on the commercial furniture, like this handguard, it does not have that. So if you're going to use something like this extension, you have to use one of the wave washers, which is included as well. What else is different about this for the police model? Oh, so the police model, it does have for the bolt release. You can see with the 1187. It doesn't have, like you may see on the newer shotguns nowadays, like the 930 SPX, the A300 1301, the Benelli M4. You have a button right here for the bolt release when the 1187 is on the bottom. Well, with the police model, this is how big it is. If you get the commercial version, it's quite a bit smaller, and I know a lot of guys end up swapping out the followers, but this already comes on it. Press it, releases the bolt. I think that may be about it, how it differs from the commercial versions. But also coming on it, it did have this piece of Picatinny rail that somebody had screwed in to it, and then they're just self-tapping screws. And if you look on the inside, they took a Dremel and cut them off so it doesn't interfere with the barrel whatsoever. That was going to be perfect for me, because for me, mounting a light on a shotgun, I didn't want to have a pressure pad. I knew I wanted to activate it by thumb. So it really is in a great position. I would like to put the wood furniture on there and then just transfer the Picatinny rail over to the wood section here. Maybe I'll get to it eventually, sooner rather than later. For the light, running the Surefire M640 DFT Turbo Series. I have a few of these lights, and I never end up using the Surefire mounts. I usually end up going with an air socket extended mount. Actually used the Picatinny mount that came with it. Again, I love the 640 or the Scout series, because you can have that swiveling mount that allows you to position the light in a better position. So as you can see here, I have it positioned a little bit tighter and higher to the bore, and also in a position where as I grip the shotgun, it really is very ergonomic. I don't have to reach my thumb around. It's right there. Moving back a little bit more, I did go ahead and upgrade the factory charging handle to this GG&G unit, the extended one. Besides getting a better grip on it, definitely looks a little bit cooler. For the sling, I just went with the Magpul Rifleman, I believe it's called. Nothing big, just held on the back with a Uncle Mike sling swivel. Go ahead and turn this around without knocking the camera around too much. You see the shot shell holder, the Mesa Tactical shot shell holder, and then I just have a very simple Allen 5 shell holder. They say typically with shotguns, you're gonna have the ammo that's on the gun. So having 6 rounds here, 5 rounds here for 11 rounds total of extra ammunition, along with 5 plus 1 in the gun. You know, plenty of ammunition. So shooting impressions, you know, going into this and doing some research, like I mentioned, already expecting this to not really want to run well with weaker target ammunition. But first time taking it to the range, I did want to try some various different ammunition. I do have a whole bunch of this, I believe it's Spartan 12 gauge double aught buck. I don't have any on me right now, but it has a little bit of a lower brass on it, and I wasn't really expecting it to cycle much in comparison to, I do still have a whole bunch of this S&B double aught buck 12 gauge. This is not the low recoil stuff. This is, or I'm sorry, is this number 1 buck? Maybe it's number 1 buck, but the Spartan ammo I have, the brass is about a third shorter than this. And I know that's not always 100% indicative of the powder charge that it has behind it, but when I tried shooting this Cellar and Blot, it would not cycle. In fact, it was it created a weird malfunction where it would pull the shell out and then flip it around backwards and then get hung up into the chamber. And then when I shot the Spartan double aught buck, I could get it to cycle, but when my son shot it, he could not get it past one round. It's just powerful enough that I guess the only thing that I can explain is that there's a difference in the way that we're shouldering the gun and absorbing the recoil. But when I was having a good stance, I could get it cycled no problem, go through a whole magazine tube. But if I was shooting behind barrels and whatnot, where I wasn't able to really get it super solid, it would also hang up. Now, everything else that I shot out, there's more of like your premium ammo, such as, you know, here I got some of this Federal double aught buck 2 3/4 inch shells. You know, I brought some of the Federal True Ball, I believe it's called, slugs out there. I also had some of the Hornady Black that I brought out there. Cycled that stuff, absolutely no problem whatsoever, not even a hiccup. Birdshot was it wouldn't even begin to eject a shell, so that wasn't even an option. One round that I haven't been able to shoot it through it yet is this Lambro double aught buck. Has higher brass on it, so maybe it'll have be a little better promising. Again, I know that higher brass isn't always indicative of a stronger powder charge. And I'm gonna drop some video in there of me shooting it, me and my son, you know, highlighting some of the ammo we shot, along with how that ammo performed. And I'll go ahead and drop that in now.
That's
Some Remington Express number 1 buck 16 pellet. Pretty powerful stuff. Number 1 buck. All right, next up, some of this Spartan cheap stuff. It's got some pretty low brass, so I don't have a lot of faith for this. All right, now I got some Winchester Universal shot shells, 7.5 shot. Don't really have much faith in this one. Didn't even cycle it enough to eject. But at least it didn't stovepipe and get it jammed up. It just turned it into basically a bolt action shotgun. One of the other things that I had done to the gun, well, this was just your typical open cylinder. I did have this threaded for a rem choke, and the whole reason that I had it threaded for a rem choke was because of this guy here, the big old Chungus Salvo 12 gauge suppressor. The way this thing mounts up is via basically a choke. The mount screws in just like a choke would, and then you attach the can, and there's a collar, and it screws down. I'm not going to get too much into that because I know I am going to have a separate video on the salvo. Be interesting to see how this thing runs with various loads. Of course, I mean, only expect it to really be able to cycle the higher power loads, but pretty excited about that. I'm going to go hit the range tomorrow. Again, I am going to have a Salvo 12 dedicated review and overview on it, and you're going to see me shooting this gun in it. And one more thing that I wanted to touch base on when it comes to this gun is the trigger. So I know, being a shotgun, typically nobody is ever really concerned with the trigger on a shotgun. I know I definitely never have. I mean, you're not really thinking about that. It's not necessarily known as a precision rifle, or precision gun. But I did, just for shits and giggles, went ahead and did my trigger pull test on this with my Wheeler gauge, and it actually breaks at 4.5 pounds. And I was like, oh, well, that's pretty impressive. I mean, even a 4.5 pound AR trigger is considered to be pretty good. I don't know what the average is, but I can tell you that comparison to my Mossberg shockwave trigger, this trigger is just about 6 pounds. So quite a bit heavier than the one that's on the Remington 1187. Don't know if that's something that's specific to the police model or not. I would probably doubt it. But overall, that's about it. Shotguns, this thing here is definitely never going to be my go-to home defense gun. I will grab an AR 10 out of 10 times before this, but I don't think that anybody can disagree that a 12 gauge shotgun with the right ammunition, namely being double-aught buck, is absolutely devastating within 25 yards. Maybe you could say even out to 50 yards. But for a close quarters weapon, it's devastating power. Everybody has to be able to respect the power of a 12 gauge. And even surprisingly, now I haven't shot slugs through this one, but if you watch my Mossberg Shockwave short barrel shotgun video, even with the short little barrel, these guns are capable of really decent accuracy. In that video, I was shooting out at 36, 40 yards, something like that. Maybe it was a little bit more than that. But shooting at an IDPA target and able to get all 5 rounds from the magazine tube into the head zone. So definitely, you're not undergunned when it comes to this short of ammo capacity. So, these police trade-in models, I know over the years, they were more widely available. They're available in various different price ranges. Searching the internet, I've seen people that got them for $350, $375. I don't know this for an absolute fact, but my guess would be, considering how old the 1187 is, there probably isn't going to be too many more police trade-ins out there available on the market. But I would tell you that if you do come across one and you're going to accept the fact that, this isn't going to run on low power ammo if you don't open the gas ports, and I know there's other YouTube videos out there that show you and tell you how to do that. It is something that I've thought about as well, but it's not really a priority to me. But don't hesitate to pick one of these up for great price, great shotgun, super cool gun. So hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it'd be helpful to you. If you liked it, please hit the like button, subscribe, share the video as much as you can. It definitely helps the channel out. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks.